Good afternoon. Okay, so starting again, adult children of alcoholics and dysfunctional families. Adult child. The concept of adult child came from the Alatans, who began the Hope for Adult Children of Alcoholics meeting. The original members of our fellowship, who were over 18 years old, were adults, but as children they grew up in alcoholic homes. Adult child also means that when confronted, we regress to a stage in our childhood. We have our book. The 22nd Annual Business Conference of Adult Children of Alcoholics voted unanimously to approve this text as the fellowship book. The ACA Big Book is a meeting book, steps book, traditions book, workbook, and group guide. The ideal for an ACA basic text began in 1991 with several ACA members envisioning a comprehensive book that contained the experience, strength, and hope of ACA, in addition to offering all the meeting and service material needed to start an ACA group. ACA members from the Los Angeles and San Fernando Valley Intergroup drew up a table of contents from blank paper. One member recalls, "We wanted a book that could be used to hold a meeting anywhere, anytime. We wanted a book that could be used for topic discussions, step studies, and workshops. We wanted a book that a sponsor could use to guide a sponsee through the recovery process. We wanted workbook items so that members could write down their thoughts and discuss questions with ACA friends. We envisioned a handbook written by adult children. The ACA Handbook Committee adhered to the 1991 wishes of these visionary members. With spiritual guidance and with humility, we submit this book for fellowship use." That right there grabbed me again this morning, because someone like me, I have to keep rereading it, right? Happy Sunday. On to the next. We have our book. We believe this book represents the most complete description of the ACA experience from our fellowship view. In addition to the 12 steps, this book contains extensive fellowship writing on the 12 traditions, sponsorship, inner child, and reparenting. This morning when I was meditating on this, I stuttered over reparenting. So yeah, this is, aha. The book also contains 120 shares recorded voluntarily at ACA meetings and events over a 10-year period. These meeting discussions represent the ACA voice, which offers hope for recovery from the effects of growing up in a dysfunctional family. We realize this is only a beginning. With this book, we hope to begin a discussion on the greater meaning of ACA recovery. We believe this discussion will lead to new levels of clarity for adult children. With this in mind, we leave the reader with a question to consider as you read this book. What does ACA mean to you? Acceptance of a power greater than ourselves. Awareness, grace, humility, fresh eyes, where you couldn't see before. True intimacy. Into me I see. Let's read on. We got the laundry list. 1. We became isolated and afraid of people and authority figures. 2. We became approval seekers and lost our identity in the process. 3. We are frightened by angry people and any personal criticism. 4. We either become alcoholics, marry them, or both, or find another compulsive personality such as a workaholic to fulfill our sick abandonment needs. 5. We live life from the viewpoint of victims and are attracted by that weakness in our love and friendship relationships. 6. We have an overdeveloped sense of responsibility, and it is easier for us to be concerned with others rather than ourselves. This enables us not to look too closely at our own faults, etc. Which is wild on the video that I made this morning, a personal video with this. So it just, before I got cleaned up, I've not read any of these steps, as you can see. Okay, we're going to read that again. 6, we have an overdeveloped sense of responsibility, and it is easier for us to be concerned with others rather than ourselves. Huh. Admittedly. And that's what this is all. Thank you. This enables us to look too closely at our own faults, etc. etc. 7. We get guilt feelings when we stand up for ourselves instead of giving in to others. Ooh. 7. We get guilt feelings when we stand up for ourselves instead of giving in to others. 8. We became addicted to excitement. 9. 8 takes me to okay. 9. We confuse love and pity to tend to love people we can pity and rescue. The whole situation of me uploading all those videos is what it takes me to. Because my way is greater, right? I just wanted to make pictures and, because my sufferings and whatever, even if I don't feel it's justified, whatever. I'm wanting to work on how I react, my fears. So regardless, and for the greater good and higher connection, I'm not dismissing any of that. Okay? I love this. 10. We have stuffed our feelings from our traumatic childhoods and have lost the ability to feel or express our feelings because it hurts so much. Denial. 11. We judge ourselves harshly and have a very low sense of self-esteem. Not today. I am tactful. 12. We are dependent personalities who are terrified of abandonment and will do anything to hold on to a relationship in order not to experience painful abandonment feelings, which we receive from living with sick people who were never there emotionally for us. 13. Alcoholism is a family disease. We became para-alcoholics and took on the characteristics of that disease even though we did not pick up the drink. 14. Para-alcoholics are reactors rather than actors. Tony A., 1978. Welcome to ACA. Never before in the history of 12-step programs has a fellowship brought together such a diverse group of recovering people that includes adult children of alcoholics, codependents, and addicts of various sorts. The program is adult children of alcoholics. The term adult child is used to describe adults who grew up in alcoholic or dysfunctional homes and who exhibit identifiable traits that reveal past abuse or neglect. The group includes adults raised in homes without the presence of alcohol or drugs. These ACA members have the trademark presence of abuse, shame, and abandonment found in alcoholic homes. Founded in 1978 in New York, ACA began with a group of Alatins. Alatin and it is a 12-step fellowship made up of children and teenagers of alcoholics. The Alatins were mostly 20 years old and wanted something different, what they could expect in another 12-step program when they moved up to that program. They were soon joined by a recovering alcoholic known as Tony A., New York City stockbroker, who would become the primary founder of ACOA, ACA. Both are acceptable usage at the time. Tony was about 50 years young and grew up in a violent alcoholic home. Over the years, ACA has evolved into an established program that offers pertinent resources of recovery for adult children from all walks of life across the world. ACA is an international fellowship with about 1,000 meetings in North America, Europe, Asia, and around the world. Adult children are committed to halting the generational nature of family dysfunction for the greater good of the world. We are not evangelizing against poor parenting, nor are we policing the parenting of the world. However, we hope to relieve the suffering brought on by neglectful and abusive homes. Amen. Amen. We want to join society with our full attention toward making a difference with the help of a higher power. Again, amen. Clinical and medical researchers have measured the causes and effects of growing up in a dysfunctional home and how such trauma continues to affect the adult. Our book offers a medical opinion on this fact in the following pages. We believe that ACA has the potential to help the suffering adult children of the world on the magnitude that Alcoholics Anonymous brought relief to hopeless alcoholics in the 20th century. Since the founding of AA in 1935, millions of once hopeless drunks have found sobriety, restored hope, and rejoined society in the attitude of love and service to others. With this book on adult children, we are suggesting that ACA has many of the answers to some of the most difficult and threatening mental health problems facing the world today. Our decades of experience has shown that adult children who attend our meetings, work the 12 steps, and find a higher power experience astonishing improvement in body, mind, and spirit. Ours is one of the few 12-step fellowship that embraces the difficult task of trauma work, which can often lead to an exciting journey to the inner child or true self. Our fellowship includes members who have been diagnosed with addictions, depression, panic disorders, post-traumatic stress disorder, and various dissociative states. Adult children understand dissociation, codependence, and obsession, and a compulsion like few others. Many of our members have literally been fetched back from the gates of hell. Winston Churchill, by the simple but spiritual program known as the Adult Children of Alcoholics. This question must be asked. How does such a diverse group of addicts, codependents, and adult children create a unified fellowship and voice that can attract new members and sustain itself without fragmenting into hundreds of pieces? My oculars don't hurt, I know that today. That's a great feeling. One of the main answers lies in identification, the DNA of all 12-step programs. Adult children of all types identify with one another at the level of abandonment, shame, and abuse like no other group of people in the world. Each day, recovery from the effects of family dysfunction begins somewhere in the world when one adult child sits across from another sharing experience, strength, and hope. We believe that once a recovering adult child meets and shares his or her story with another adult child seeking help, that adult can view codependence the same again. This is a potent statement, but our experience shows that it is true. The proof of identification and ACA unity can be found in ACA meetings, and the immediate identification created by the reading of the laundry list, a list of identifiable traits penned by Tony A. The laundry list is the basic for the problem, which is read at the beginning of most ACA meetings. It's always, I'm not even going to say like Drew Barrymore 51st Dates. Hello. Every morning, whatever it takes. And I am grateful for that. Alright, that wasn't 5 or 6, but okay. Back to the paragraph. Stop rocking. These common behaviors include fear of abandonment, fear of authority figures, judging ourselves harshly, confusing love for pity, and becoming an alcoholic or marrying one. Self-identification with the laundry list. Problem is the glue that holds together our fellowship and its membership. Adult children from addicted homes or homes without addiction, yet dysfunctional, identify with the laundry list problem in the same degree. We have the same loss. Today, I am not lost. And I'm so thankful to be clean, clear, and sober every day and chill with that. Very much so. When read aloud at an ACA meeting, the laundry list problem produces an immediate sense of curiosity and identification that resonates within the adult child. The feeling is an inescapable sense of clarity and hope that heretofore did not exist for the adult child. Will you grab water, please? Whenever you get a moment. Pardon. A little parched. While ACA is similar to other 12-step programs, our emphasis on the family system and the inner child are true sets ACA apart from all other fellowships. In addition to focusing on ourselves through the 12 steps, we believe that the family system is open for inspection as well. We believe that each of us is born with a true self that is forced into hiding by dysfunctional parenting. A false self emerges that protects the hidden true self from harm, but at a heavy price. Without help, the destructive false self is too much for most adult children to separate from. ACA holds out hope and acceptance to the hurting adult children of the world who can hit a bottom and reach out for help, allowing the true self to emerge in the nurturing atmosphere of ACA is a spiritual experience that awaits of any adult child stepping onto the broad highway of ACA recovery. A message to non-members. Due to the nature of the Adult Children of Alcoholics program, this book will deal with family matters and family rearing practices. However, nothing in this book is to be construed as ACA taking a position on the family rearing practices or methods of detecting and treating child abuse. Amen to that. You get a drink of water on that note. Lovely. Thank you. The primary purpose of ACA is to create a safe setting in which adults who grew up in dysfunctional homes can feel safe and find a way to share their stories with others in a meaningful manner. ACA experience shows that survival traits developed by an abused or neglected child continue to affect the adult in problematic ways that our fellowship understands and addresses. We offer hope and a sense of home for many adult children who live each day in quiet desperation without words to describe such despair. As part of our recovery process, I'll thank my lucky stars and the Most High. Always. Fathers to the fatherless. For I am not orphaned. That's what hit me. That's so awesome. However, the adult child examines how he or she was raised. We offer hope and a sense of home for many adult children who live each day in quiet desperation without words to describe such despair. As part of our recovery process, what that takes me to is when I think about the times in addiction to just leaving my kids on a game set and they're playing a game for hours, probably watching paint dry, that I ended up pawning later on, period, to outside, before addiction, after, in between addiction, bouts of sobriety. Today's different, thank God. I know it. Because it's got to find you as much as you find it, right? To replacing of catching lightning bugs or watching butterflies. So talking about auras, if they even remember that, and grateful for that time and space when I had it, and understanding of why and when ready for me, not to me, as well as my relationships. Okay, so awesome. We offer hope and a sense of home, true altar, for many adult children who live each day in quiet desperation without words to describe such despair. as part of our, does that mean it's not genuine? I guess each act of sobriety, now aware, is the beautiful but humbling reminder, right? Smile out for me. That's what I hear. As part of our recovery process, many ACA members take a blameless inventory of their parents to understand and stop the generational nature of family dysfunction. The parents are not blamed. However, the adult child examines how he or she was raised in connection with levels of nurturing, discipline, and feeling safe. Absolutely amen. Always. All children are. Absolutely amen. Raise that on up. Every time. Every time. In homes where obvious abuse and violence existed, that adult child, those, these, their, them, her, him, her, I, he, she, whatever, me, us, I, affection. The adult child, okay, lit up. In homes where obvious abuse and violence existed, the adult child names the behavior as one of the first steps in removing power from such parental acts. While our individual members are free to choose their own path in life, I am thankful and grateful for this space, vulnerability and safe, family, seeing, knowing the difference and actually adhering and applying in real life, trying to practice these in all ways, like areas of my life, down to typical convos. Trying to pull myself out of talking of when I was stuck down at fucking, I don't know, stealing from Dollar Tree. You know? Today I'm not. And I'm happy to be here reading this. And I'm thankful for anyone this actually helps or hits home to. Because it definitely does hit home right outside here with me. On so many levels. While our individual members are free to choose their own path in life, ACA has no opinion on outside issues such as child welfare programs, counseling programs, or legislation that might deal with childhood abuse or neglect, or poverty, indigence. Why do I hear like Lilo and Stitch? Like, that's so awesome. There are many legitimate nonprofit and private programs throughout the land which deal with such matters. However, we are not affiliated with such programs. Finally, this book is not a call to rally against dysfunctional families. Parents are family systems that many would consider problematic. In ACA, we learn to keep the focus on ourselves and live and let live. Right here. Right up here. I can't wait. Divine light. It's going there. In my ear. I'll let the stars speak to me. That's what's in my ear. I accept all that. Introduction. My name is, hi, I'm Dawn Doree. I'm all of this in here. Alright. I'm going to go cook breakfast now. We'll save introduction for another day. Maybe when, I'm not feeling so introduction-y, like I'm not even gonna call that into existence. Hopefully they're all like this. You know, we all know life isn't like that though. So the fact that sitting here and applying these and pushing through moments like that to now that have led to this, truly grateful. Truly grateful. Happy to go to counseling tomorrow with family that's actually coming inside and actually gonna be a part of it. Like, to their own accord, like, thankful. No more walking down 21 because it tore it all up in a hospital gown, feeling disheveled or lost. Mysteries. No more mystery. Still smoking weed though. Just celibate in all other areas for a while, and that, well, from addiction with His grace forever. I will be honest about my pot use, and if you know how my therapy is, along with psychotropics, because this is also not to go against that either. Also understanding that it very much well be needed in cases, especially my own, and that's who I'm speaking for. You know, I can't speak on no one else, but to be a part of this book and a part of NA, or just recovery period, and just grateful. Done with the ums. Peace.